So there's a big difference between prompting a camera zooming in or zooming out and prompting a deep focus shot where the camera retreats at the same focal length throughout the entire frame. And if that was a lot of words and sounds kind of confusing, don't worry, it's okay, because we're going to talk about another 5 camera movements you should be using in your prompts to get better AI videos. And we have all of the secret tips, hacks, guides for you available. They're all down in the description. And I've already done this 2 other times with other videos. You're gonna wanna make sure you check those out as well. Now, the first one we're going to talk about in this video is called the Hero 360 shot. And I'm going to display the prompts here on the screen for you to pause and grab them, or you can use the free prompt guide down linked in the description. But the key things to include here with the 360 hero shot is phrases like rapid 360-degree rotation. Be specific about the speed here. This is a very aggressive whipping style orbit. It's not a slow orbit. We want the 360 to basically whip around the subject and come back to the front. Make sure you include multi-camera array simulation. This phrase tells the AI to replicate a very fast time effect, like the camera is everywhere at once and blending all of these frames together. Then you're going to want to include time appears to slow dramatically. This is what sells that frozen in place subject look, or the frozen subject look in the middle. And without it, the AI may just spin the camera without creating a slow motion contrast. It's actually a very difficult thing to do, but if you put in these specific keywords, you're going to get a much better output. Now, to always anchor it with the setting, meaning anchoring all of these phrases in the prompt with the setting in your image, like a rooftop, mention the cinematic slow motion freeze effect. This is going to help you, again, get that subject frozen or whatever it is that you're rotating around. This helps the AI understand the visual tone that you're going for. All right, next up is called the deep focus shot. I referenced this at the beginning of the video, and you're probably wondering what that is. This one is actually 2 camera techniques or movements working together. The first part is about your lens and the depth of field. So we want to include wide angle lens and extreme depth of field. These 2 phrases together are telling the AI everything in the frame should be sharp. The foreground, the midground, the background, everything. We need all of it to be understood while we're going to do this zoom or retreat backwards effect. Then we want to explicitly say no bokeh, no shallow focus, no depth of field, no blur anywhere in the frame. Again, we're trying to provide everything as sharp as possible while this movement happens. And I know that it feels like a lot to prompt in or a lot to happen in a shot, but the AI is probably going to default to some sort of bokeh or something slightly blurred, and you need to shut that down in case it decides to do it on purpose. So we need to explicitly say what not to do. Now, the second part to this is the camera movement. So the first part was about the angles, the depth, all that kind of stuff that had to do with the lens. The second one here is on the movement, a slow pull back. So we want to say the camera retreats steadily away from the subject to set that direction. We want to set the direction for the AI of what it's supposed to do, which is retreating. We're not just simply zooming out from a subject at the same exact speed. Then we want to say revealing increasing depth and layers of the environment. This gives the pullback a purpose and helps that AI start to build out the environment as it moves. Now, this particular camera technique is really done efficiently when you designate a start and an end frame. Now, you can learn all about how to do that in Kittl. We have tons of videos on what a start and end frame is, but essentially you're going to give the video model exactly where it's starting and exactly where it ends. And then when you prompt in this movement, it knows to go from A to B, and it's going to bring all of that context in versus trying to create it from scratch or from its imagination where it might guess, and you don't want that. So try to at least prompt or generate the final frame that you want that looks accurate, and then you can attach those frames together. There's tons of videos. I'll link them down in the description for you. So together, these 2 specific parts of the deep focus shot, create this expansive, everything in focus reveal that's very intentional, very cinematic, especially if you're trying to reveal other subjects or characters in a scene. All right, the third one is called Handheld Documentary. This one's pretty simple, and it's all about the feeling of the shot over being precise or sharp. So unlike other movements where you want to lock everything down and be very specific, here it's okay for it to be imperfect, maybe a little bit jittery, maybe a little bit more POV. So your language is going to be looking more like natural, handheld camera, raw, intimate style. These things set up the tone in your prompt. Then you're going to want to use organic weight, slight instability, not so unstable that we want to have the camera shaking all over the place, like we can't, we're running or something. We don't want that. We just want slightly unstable, right? This is the phrase that separates that handheld from just shaky mess. We don't want the shaky mess. You want that movement to still feel natural, like someone's following behind. Then we want to use responsive or reactive framing. This is telling the AI that the camera should adjust in real time as the subject moves, i.e. we're not just following it robotically on a perfect slide rail or perfect zoom in. We want it to dynamically follow the subject. Then we want to include close personal proximity maintained throughout. Now it might sound weird, but that's how you get that documentary style, that tight personal space. And if you don't specify that, the AI is probably going to pull back or do a random shot from a different angle and lose the intimacy of the shot that you're looking for. Now, if you're finding this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other prompting tips just like this. And let us know in the comments, what are you trying to generate? Like what kind of camera movements are you trying to make, or what kind of scenes or what kind of product videos you're trying to make? That will help us create even more prompt presets and more prompt tips just like this. So make sure you comment down below. All right, the fourth technique is the epic crane reveal. And honestly, this one may be the most dramatic on the list, but it's pretty epic and it looks really cool, hence the name epic crane reveal. So a few things you're going to want to make sure you always include. Of course, you can always just copy the prompt, but if you want to make your own, make sure you put in single continuous shot first. You want to say that first. It tells the AI that we're going to have an unbroken movement. Then we want to say starts at ground level, then inches from the surface. So we're already much further below what we're about to reveal. And this contrast is working to establish how the camera is supposed to start. You can even include rises steadily and powerfully, or with emphasis, or with quick motion straight up. This locks the direction. We want straight up. We don't want any to drift. We don't want any arcing. You can also include that if you want to. And then we'll say the movement never stops or slows until it reaches its peak. If you don't say this, the AI tends to ease in and ease out, and that's not as dramatic. But when I say ease in, it kind of goes from slow to fast or fast to slow, as opposed to one solid motion. And we want the one solid motion of the epic reveal. Then make sure you finish this with at full height, the camera is looking straight down, almost like a top-down POV or a top-down aerial drone look, which you can also prompt. That may be beneficial as well. And this overhead is the payoff to the whole shot for the epic crane reveal. And the last technique is symmetrical tracking shot. This is a super clean, very visually striking camera movement, and it's all about perfection. So your prompt language needs to reflect this, and we're going to use a couple of phrases like absolute center frame composition maintained throughout. We're giving no room for error here. We're using an anchor phrase. Everything else in the prompt is going to reinforce this first phrase, absolute center frame. Then we'll say zero lateral drift, zero rotation, zero tilt. You could replace zero with no or none, but for some reason we're having a lot more consistency by putting zero. So a percentage, if you will. This is what's ruling things out that you don't want to happen in the video. Then you can type ruler straight dolly movement along the central axis. The ruler straight phrasing here is really effective. It gives the AI a physical, measurable reference for precision. Now, You can go and Google that to figure out what actual kind of movement that is. The dolly zoom or the dolly rotation or the dolly movement has been extremely popular in cinema, and it creates a really cool effect. The goal here though is creating a really beautifully composed, almost Wes Anderson styled push where the subject never leaves the center of the frame. All right, and there is another 5 camera movements that you should be prompting in to get better generations. But if you want the fast pass, all of these are available in the prompt guide down below, or an even faster pass, which is using our prompt presets in our AI panel in Kittl. So if you've already got some products, if you've got some images, if you're trying to make trending effects or something for your social media, we have these quick prompt presets where you can even type and then attach them onto your prompt to get some pretty incredible results. And don't forget to comment down below what you're currently working on, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.